Hi, I'm Deb, and welcome to my YouTube channel, Yoga Bites with Deb. I personally love to hike. I love hiking if there's any kind of elevation. Not that there's a lot of elevation here in Ontario, but when I can find it, I'm always very pleased to go for that hike. But whether you're hiking with elevation or just hiking through a forest or along the city streets, we can get tight, we can be tense, it can be hard on our body. So this is a little pre-routine to do before you go for that hike that'll open up the backs of our legs, open up our hips a bit, open up the across the shoulders a little bit if you're carrying, your backpacks with you, and also work a little bit on your balance to help so that you don't fall while you're hiking. So I hope you'll join me at the top of your mat in mountain pose. Come into mountain pose at the top of your mat, feet are about hip distance apart. Inhale, draw those arms up, belly's in. Exhale, bend the knees, dive forward. So standing forward, fold, a bit of a ragdoll. Bend those knees, get your chest and thighs to connect. And we're just going to work on stretching out the backs of those legs, the hamstrings, but we want to keep the chest and thighs connected. So keep breathing, keep them bent as much as you need to, but very slowly start to tilt the tailbone up towards the sky without coming away from the thighs. So if that means your knees are bent and you're feeling sensation through the backs of the legs, that's great. You can stay there. If you don't feel sensation through the backs of the legs, start to tilt that tailbone up, but just don't come away from your thighs. You don't have to go fully straight. You're just stretching out the backs of our legs, deeply breathing. Place your hands on the mat, and we're going to slowly step back onto hands and knees. Plant your hands down. Extending my left leg out, I'm going to curl my toes under, and I'm just going to push back and forth and give the calf muscle a little bit of a stretch. Press back and hold. Breathe it out. And then switch sides, straighten out the right leg, come back and forth a few times. And then press back and hold. And then release. From here, curl the toes under, bellies in, knees up, push back. So we're coming into downward facing dog. Again, we can stretch the calves out here, bend one knee deeply, straighten out the other leg. We're also stretching out the hamstrings, the backs of our legs. Slowly switching, not in a rush, not bouncing around. You want to feel the stretch. Take one breath or two, depending on how you feel. Let's just do that one more time on each side. Nice deep breaths. So we're going to come just into down dog. So both knees can be bent or both legs are straight. Belly is in. We're going to lift the right leg up. I'm going to step my right foot forward. So if my right foot doesn't want to come all the way up, maybe it comes part way up and you help it along. Or maybe it's better for you to come onto your hands and knees and bring the right foot forward. So whatever works for you. You might choose to use blocks here. Root the hands down, lengthen the spine up. Let's uncurl the toes. We can stay here. Or we're going to lengthen ourselves all the way up, stacking shoulders over the hips, engage in the core, pull up the pelvic floor, draw the belly in. So we don't want to tilt the tailbone back. We want to kind of tuck it under, lengthen up, raise those arms up, and then we can try and sink a little bit into that. So opening up the front of the hip here. We're going to take our hands to those blocks and we're going to shift from that lunge into a little half split. Toes point towards the ceiling. I'm going to take my blocks up nice and high just for ease. Inhale to come forward, so I'm stretching the front of the hip. Exhale to come back, toes point up, stretch the back of the leg. Good, come back and hold. And just for fun, plant that left hand down, belly is in, take a twist, right arm comes up. So we're turning to face that right side, twisting from the mid spine, extending that arm up and breathing. So you might be feeling this through the IT band, that outer edge of your thigh. but also you're getting that twisted through the upper back. Good. Come forward. Place the blocks at the top, curl the back toe under, lift the back knee up, step that foot in. So pyramid pose, right hip draws back, left hip draws forward, lengthen the spine. So you can have a bend in your knee, but we work to straighten it. We can have a nice flat back and hold here, or we could bow down. Bending into the front knee, hands to the mat, sit back to downward facing dog. Again, if you want to pedal out, if you need a little more stretch for those calves, go right ahead. Lifting the left leg up, drawing the belly in. And again, any way you like, stepping that left foot forward, lower the right knee down. Let's keep our blocks close by. Stack shoulder over hips, pelvic floor up, belly in. Raise those arms up. Sink those hips a little bit. Bring those hands down. Exhale, tilt back, flex those toes up. So inhale to move forward and exhale back. Move with your breath and notice the feel. What do you feel is going on? We stretch the front of the hip as we come forward. We stretch the back of the leg as we come back. Let's hold. Lengthening up. Maybe taking the twist, plant the right hand into your block or the mat. Draw the belly in and extend that arm up. So remember, we're keeping our hips level. Breathe. Untwist. Bend that front knee forward. Maybe bring the blocks up nice and high. Curl the back toe under, knee up, and then step it in. This time, right hip forward, left hip back. Work to straighten the leg, although you can keep a bend in your knee. Find length in your spine. Hold here or bow down. Lengthen that spine. This time, we're just going to step that front foot forward. And again, forward fold. Maybe you have a little bit more warmth through the body. Maybe we don't need to bend the knees as much. Again, though, keep the chest and thighs connected. Hands to those shins. We're going to plant those hands. You're going to step one leg back. We're going to turn to the long side of our mat for our wide-legged forward fold. So you could bring the block with you so you don't have to come down so low. Or if it's available, just rest your hands onto the mat. You can also choose to draw that belly in, bring your hands into the low back, clasp them, squeeze the shoulder blades together, lift the arms up, and then bow down. So this would be great to open up through our shoulders. If you're carrying any backpacks while you're hiking, this may be nice to just open up those shoulders. And then release. We're going to heel toe our feet in. Let's take a quick little squat. So if squats aren't in your repertoire, stay up higher, elbows on the knees, or come all the way down. Your toes, you could plant your toes on the mat, heels up, or if you can get your heels to come down, my toes point out to the side, elbows on the inside, palms to the heart. So you're going to release tension in through those hips, through the groin, into the low back as well. And then we're going to come up to stand. Roll those shoulders back, and we're going to come into a standing figure four pose. So drawing that belly in, standing on one leg, lift the other up, flex the foot, cross ankle over your thigh, and then we're going to take that seat back. Maybe we bring the palms to our heart. Maybe you bring your fingertips to your block, which is too far out of my reach, or your fingertips to come all the way down to the mat. So the lower down you go, deeper that hip stretch will be. And then come all the way up, standing on your other foot, drawing the belly in, knee up. Here, I'll grab the block to demonstrate. Cross ankle over your thigh, belly is in. Let's take that seat that's behind us, You can stay upright. We can find our block maybe and sink down. Maybe that's what you want to get into your hips and just sink down low. Or your fingertips could come down. Or again, you can just work on the balance. And then we're going to lengthen ourselves up. Our last posture is another balancing pose. It's going to be our dancer pose. So balance is important when you're hiking, right? Sometimes you're on rocky terrain. It's important to be able to balance while you hike, while you walk. And also in dancer's pose, we're going to open up across our chest a little bit. And that's great if you're holding those backpacks, as well as open up the hip flexor as well. So I'm going to start at the back of my mat. And I'm just going to step 1 foot forward. So I got my right foot stepping forward. Let's be on the toes of my left foot. Drawing that belly in. It's like to make a nice L shape with your hand. And if you're able to, you can grab the inside of your foot. Extend your right arm up. And then, oops, that's okay. Balance is hard. Re-grab, and then we're going to push the foot into the hands. Focusing on one point is very helpful. And we tilt forward. So you want to square everything off so that we can open up through the chest. Open up through that front hip flexor. Finding balance, finding focus. Breathing. Excellent. And then we're going to slowly release. We're just going to step that left foot forward. Draw the belly in. Lift the right foot up, grab the inside of the foot if you can, extend that left arm up to help with balance, push the foot into the hand, and then maybe start to tilt slightly forward. Keep pushing the foot into the hand. You're trying to arch the back, breathing, and then release. And that is our yoga bite for today. Hopefully that'll help you get ready for a lovely hike in the fall. Enjoy those fall colors. Have a great day. Oh, don't forget to hit like and subscribe.